The head, neck, and shoulders are intricately connected by several different muscles. The most superficial muscles being the upper trap, middle trap, and levator scapula. The brain communicates with these muscles through the 11th cranial nerve and the nerves at C3 and C4. These muscles contract the shoulder towards the neck, which causes pressure on the upper part of the vertebrae, creating tension and pain. The muscles that are much deeper are the transversospinalis and splenius capitis. The nerves that innervate these muscles are found from the C1 through the C6. These muscles connect the head and neck, which means looking down, like reading, computer work, or especially phone or tablet work, can cause problems. Start in a side-lying position with a foam roller between the neck and shoulder. Use your top leg to press into the floor, rolling your body up, which will create pressure downward through that shoulder. You're trying to create as much movement between the ear and shoulder as possible while relaxing the head toward the floor. You may increase the intensity of work by rolling the foam roller up and down using your hand. To work different points of the neck, simply roll backwards, keeping the chin and chest directly in line while opening the shoulders to the ceiling. An additional way to create greater intensity is by creating a saw-like motion, pulling the end of the foam roller toward your neck and then relaxing. You need to allow yourself to relax during the saw-like motion to break down the muscle tissue in the upper trap and neck. Continue to change the position, working the areas that are most tender. If you are tensing your body, it is not helping. My recommendation is to continue this work anywhere from 2 to 3 minutes on each side before moving on. A common headache that comes through my door is when someone comes in and paints across the forehead the pain that they feel. Commonly, it's also associated to have eye pain with this sort of headache. The muscles typically causing this headache are actually on the back side of the head, and they are called the occipital muscles. When the occipitals get extremely tight, they pull on the back of the head over the top of the head, creating the tension and pressure you feel in the forehead. So let's take a look at how to release these muscles to get rid of your headache. Using 2 lacrosse balls directly on the back of the head and lying on the ground, use a book to elevate the lacrosse balls. You're going to press down into the lacrosse balls and move them around the back of your head until you find the part that is most tender. At this point, you're going to begin pressing your head down into the lacrosse ball as hard as you can tolerate. This pressure should recreate the headache that you commonly feel across your forehead. Continue this pressure for 30 seconds. I will continue to talk you through the 30 seconds here. Do not let up on your pressure. Continue to push as hard as you possibly can in the occipital muscles in the back of your head. Try even increasing the tension and feel the headache. You know you're doing it correctly if you continue to feel the headache the whole time you're on these muscles. And we finish in 3, 2, 1. Wonderful. Now we're done with the occipital release. Next, we're going to be working on the atlantoaxial junction and the rest of the cervicals. The first muscles for us to focus on are at the atlantoaxial junction, and they are called the obliquus capitis major, obliquus capitis superior and inferior, and the rectus capitis. Once we have cervicis. Laying on your back with a book under your head and neck, place the lacrosse balls directly in line with the junction of the head and neck. Once you have the lacrosse balls in that position, tilt the head up and down like you're nodding your head yes. This should cause a contraction of the muscle tissue on top of the lacrosse ball and then a stretch as you look down. Once you've completed the work on that junction, move down a ½ inch to the next cervical and continue this process until you have worked your way down the entire neck. Be sure to get a tight contraction tucking the chin, followed by a strong contraction tilting the head back in order for this technique to work. If you get to a point where it feels like one side is worse than the other, you may rotate your head to that side and continue to nod yes. For example, if I had some extra tension on the left side of my neck, I would rotate my head to the left and continue to contract up and down. Remember to do this continuously through the entire neck, rotating to the left or right as needed. Our final release is going to be on the upper and middle trap and levator scapula. These muscles contract the shoulder to the head. This release requires a massage stick and a clear wall. We want to start by locating the trap and levator, which holds the shoulder up to the ear. Once located, lean against the wall, allowing the stick to press down into the shoulder. Once you've created that pressure, you can start turning your head down and away from that trap. You'll notice I continue to hold the massage stick with my right hand and let the massage stick push my left shoulder down. Continue to create this pressure until your shoulder feels relaxed.
Hello, good morning. We are set and ready for our upper body day. So our upper body day consists of 4 rounds of 8 exercises per round. In between each round, there will be a 1-minute break. Okay, so each exercise should take about 45 seconds, and then we're going to have a 15-second transition time in between those exercises. So I'm glad you're here, ready to work out with us, because we are here to help you move well and live well. So the whole point is that we begin to learn how to make our bodies move with the appropriate body movement, and as we do that, the body begins to heal itself. So range of motion issues, pain that we feel, a lot of it is changed and transformed when we begin to change the way the muscle tissue actually works in your body. Okay, so I'm excited you're here. I hope you're excited to get started, but before we jump into the actual exercises, we do want to take some time to dedicate this workout, dedicate our time to others, because it's not just about us and what we physically get out of this, but how we use our body and how we use our capacity for others. So right now, our capacity says we can take and dedicate this time. So we will do that. So up above this bar right here, that'll actually stay through the duration of the workout. So in between rounds, you can go ahead and rededicate those individuals as we go. So we'll just run through quick kind of some of what's going on with these individuals. So Lori, her mom is doing dialysis 3 times a week still, so we're praying for her through that. Ethan with his stage 4 liver and bile duct cancer. My friend's wife with breast cancer, they actually are treating that naturally and are seeing really good progressions with that. Been doing that for a couple of years now and seeing good results and doing well, feeling well through that. And then there's Kira. She had lymphatic surgery and radiation, so she's back to work half-time, hoping she can get back to full-time work. I think that'll just bring back some normalcy into her life, and we all know what normal life feels like, and it feels good when we return to that. So pray strength over her. And then her dad, Jim, is actually in a pretty steady decline from pancreatic cancer. So I'm praying for that family. That's a lot to go through for any family. So just pray for encouragement and strength for them. And then the last one is Mark. That would be Marcia in class here. Her brother had kidney stones. Those were lasered or whatever they do to blow those things up. So hopefully he also is gaining some strength. Okay, so those are our individuals. Continue to pray for them. We're going to get our brain right? Contemplate on things of an eternal nature, so that way we're not thinking about only the things of this world. So we want to take some time to think on that. And hope does not put us to shame, because God's love has been poured into our hearts through the Holy Spirit, who has been given to us. Romans 5:5. Really interesting thing about hope, there was a rat study, so hopefully, I'm sorry if you love rats and enjoy rats, that's fine, but there was a study done with rats that was pretty unremarkable as far as how the response was. So what they did is they let rats swim in a barrel of water, right? And they found majority of the rats that would just swim, they would last about a minute before they ended up drowning, okay? So what they did is they transitioned out of just letting them swim on their own. They picked the rats up right at about the 50-second point, okay? Right when they knew, the rat was almost exhausted and would just give up. So they would pick the rat up out of the water and then just set it back in the water. Just that one action of providing hope to that rat that rat would swim for nearly an hour before it reached exhaustion, right? So often, I think we look at the world around us and the people around us, and there's depression and anxiety and all these different things. And sometimes what we need to be is the hand that reaches in and lifts up someone out of that situation to say, there is hope on the other side. There's something to fight for. Not that we're going to pull them out and remove them from every situation and choice that they made, but that we can have that hope that God's love has been poured into our hearts and provide the Holy Spirit to others. So it's really a powerful thing when we think about our role as Christian individuals or Christ followers to say, there is something greater. There's something bigger. There's hope beyond your situation, beyond your anxiety, beyond your depression. And that hope is in a living and eternal God. So there you go. That's just where I sit today on that one. Disagree with me, agree with me, it doesn't matter. You can put it in the comments because we just love conversation. So Carol, it's really good to see you in class. Glad you're here. Glad you left me a comment so I know. So we are going to jump in to the workout now. So this is our upper body workout. So go ahead. Hey, there's Lois. Whoop. I'm covering myself up here. I better get that moved out of the way. Check in at the front desk there. Okay, we'll go ahead and get set for those circles.
Yeah, please.
She has third. Last year. I'm glad you do your warm-ups. This last one. The late ones. Awesome. Okay, good work. Remember, stay nice and tall. The whole point of our warm-ups is to begin connecting the brain to the muscle tissue, so we want to make sure that the shoulders are coming down and back while we create any sort of movement. Okay, so whether we're using our hips and marching, or if we're doing leg swings, we still want to position our body the right way. So make sure that you think through that as we do these warm-ups. And then round one is kind of a continuation of the warm-ups. Okay, so as we get into those and start moving, it's not that you move fast or really hard, but that you get your body on board with how we're moving, right? Connecting your brain physically and tangibly to that muscle tissue so you feel the right muscles working. So we'll review which muscles those are as we do the work, okay? Good leg swings. Anytime we do swinging motions, we're trying to get just lubrication into that hip joint or the joints themselves. Right. Synovial fluid is what we call that. Good swings. And again, we're not looking for your hips to really shift and grind and torque your spine either. This one's primarily for the hips, so don't overswing, don't overcommit to it. Okay, here we go, hip flexor stretch. Then after about a minute of hip flexor stretches, we'll get into our workouts. We start with rowing, and that's just pulling either on a band or leaning against the wall. You can pull those elbows and shoulders down and back. Okay, so we'll show you a few different ways how to do that here. as we go. So Carol, we feeling all better, I hope? Good core compression, staying nice and tall, butt cheeks tight, right? Tucking underneath to open the hip flexor. Yes.
3, 2, 1. Get ready to row. 3, 2, 1. Row.
Mm-hmm. Do you know what any of them? What the sicknesses are? No. All right, so as we pull shoulders behind the ears, okay, so I want you to think
That's
of
halfway.
anything. The elbow is pressing only to the distance of the shoulder. Okay, we're not taking the elbows way past. Okay, so the shoulders should always be back farther than the elbows. So that's our focus. Back
3,
and down.
2, 1.
Okay.
Transition to
Good.
chest press.
All right, chest press. Okay, anytime we do a pushing motion, we still want those shoulders in that locked down and back position. That is what opens your shoulder
3,
joint
2,
to have
1.
better range of motion.
Chest press.
So we need to train that to be able to go into that position while we create a push. So that way, anytime we have a shopping cart, right, we're not just shoulders forward, back rounded, and we're resting on the shopping cart. Right? We're tall, shoulders tight, down and back, and then create your push.
That's
the
halfway.
most advantageous way to create a force that's pushing or pulling. Okay? So butt, belly, back. Your 3Ds. Your back should be pinching down and back like you're trying to unclip the bra strap.
3,
Okay?
2,
Nice and tight.
1. Transition to biceps curl.
Good. Okay, so we just switch out, head it into the bicep curls. If you have bands that are attached, you can have the bands behind you. Squeeze forward as
3,
you do that. Shoulders
2,
and then down and
1.
back.
Biceps curl.
If you don't have bands, that's okay. We just go palm to palm, or think wrist on wrist with a penny in between there, and you're trying to crush that penny. You're trying to meld that thing flat. Kind of like this, okay? Flat pennies, that's what we're shooting for, okay?
That's halfway.
A nice little Donald Duck. Quack, quack, quack. 50 cents for a penny. 51 cents. I mean, we got our 1 penny back, but it's not really worth anything. So you do lose a penny in the process.
3, 2,
Good.
1. Transition to triceps overhead press.
Actually, for you guys at home, in your workout space, you should just get one of those pinched pennies and just have it sitting there, because 51 cents
3,
is the best
2,
training tool I've ever
1.
had.
Triceps overhead.
Okay, triceps overhead, again, press hard through, okay, shoulders out of the ears. You're trying to maintain that body position, shoulders down and back. Okay, so even though we're creating a stress in the body,
halfway.
we don't want to stress into the shoulders. Okay, that's typically where stress is held in the body, is up in the shoulders, because we get tight to protect the neck and this the spine, right? Because the brain goes into protection mode. Stress creates a heightened
3, 2,
process. So we want to
1.
kind of force
Transition
those down.
to fly.
Okay, into the fly. Remember, wide arms, making sure your butt and your belly are really tight. Okay, so we're
3,
not arching
2,
the back to
1.
create a fly.
Fly.
If you squeeze your belly and your butt the appropriate way, whoop, it should tuck under. Okay, hold nice and tall. Good work, getting all the way through the movement. Okay, good job,
That's
Carol.
halfway.
Stay in it. Tight squeezes. Doing your best. Good, 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 good.
3, 2, 1. Transition to pull apart.
Get ready for the pull apart. And stay tall and tight. Core compress, shoulders down and back.
3, 2, 1. Pull apart.
Good, good, good. Squeeze, tight,
That's
tight,
halfway.
Tight, tight. Shoulders down, back, down, back. Core compressed, firm, firm, firm. Again, do your best through
3,
it, trying to keep
2,
that position.
1. Transition to hammer curl.
Awesome. Okay, hammer curls, and then we have tricep press downs. Then we're done with round 1, okay?
3, 2,
Curls
1. Hammer curls.
simply means thumbs up, okay? So if you have a towel or you don't have band and you want to go hand-to-hand combat, right? Don't let either one win. You're pulling up with one and pressing down with the other. That's your bicep, tricep. And then we'll switch after this exercise and get the other bicep and tricep.
That's halfway.
The main thing would be that we're pressing and pulling hard through the movement, right? If you have a towel, you're just trying to rip the towel apart, okay? Pull, pull, pull. Doing your best all the way through the movement, all the way through.
3, 2,
Good.
1. Transition
Awesome.
to tricep press down.
Okay, good tricep presses. Remember, stay tall and tight. Extend that elbow, straight arm, squeeze the
3,
back of the arm
2,
tight.
1.
we
Tricep
go.
press down.
Remember to compress that core, shoulders stay down and back, firm all the way through, okay? All the way through.
That's halfway.
Good core compression, shoulders down and back, down and back. Squeeze nice and tight. Very good.
3, 2, 1.
Awesome.
Rest.
Long rest simply means water break, right? Get a little drink, make sure you do some breathing, get set and ready for round 2. Okay, so now progressively, rounds 2, 3, and 4 should get harder as we go. That means you can either pull more resistance, right? More weight,
That's
or
halfway.
you can do more repetitions. Okay, so those are 2 ways to increase the intensity. If you need to increase your brain's capacity to create quality movement, move slowly and really connect through what you're doing. Okay, making sure that core stays tight, shoulders are down
3,
and back,
2,
glutes are
1.
compressed tight.
Get ready
Okay.
to row.
So get ready to row back into that for round 2.
3, 2, 1. Row.
Okay, ready to row. Again, shoulders down, back, down, back. Feeling lots better, about 95%. Awesome, Carol. It's always good to have you back online.
That's
Then I have some
halfway.
chats to go into. Very good. Pause right there. Shoulders back even more. Yes. Good. And that's what I want you to do with each pull. You get to the back, shoulders
3,
set up, down,
2,
back, forward,
1.
set up, shoulders
Transition
down,
to
back.
chest press.
I mean, if it's not difficult, I'm going to make it even more difficult. And if it is difficult, I'm going to make it more difficult.
3, 2, 1. Chest press.
Okay, here we go. Good chest presses. Again, if you're in any sort of push-up position or if the band is behind you and you're pulling through that fly, right, you're not letting your back arch. Okay, so no matter what, I need to keep that core and glutes tight. Okay, I keep those two
That's
tight.
halfway.
Then I have a nice lever to create my push off. Okay, so the body should stay nice and straight. I shouldn't be arching my back with my hips staying in position. Okay, this all stays tight. You're moving your whole body
3,
back and forth.
2, 1. Transition to biceps curl.
All right, bicep curls. This means palm up, so you either can do a band with one arm here, or you can go palm on top of palm,
3,
band attached.
2,
is a great way to do this
1.
as well.
Biceps curl.
Where we just bend that elbow and really fire that bicep. Okay, but as always, we're trying to stay tall, shoulder compressed, down and back, and then create your squeeze.
That's halfway.
Good, good, good. Tall and tight. Core compressed, glutes on, tight, tight, tight squeeze. Doing your absolute best all the way through.
3,
Good job, Carol.
2, 1.
Good job, Lois.
Transition to triceps overhead press.
Awesome. Triceps up overhead. As the arms are up, right? If we're pressing out this way, we don't want to be arching the back to try
3,
to get there.
2,
Core is still tight.
1.
Glutes are on.
Triceps overhead.
Trying to offload the compression of the spine. So if you lean backwards, it's going to angle your vertebrae out of bad position. So we want to keep that tight and compressed, especially as we create some sort of tension or force that pulls us backwards. We want to fight
That's
against
halfway.
that through your midsection, which is why we do core day on Monday. Yeah. So we know what it feels like, right? Preparing for that belly whack. Core should be nice and tight through that movement.
3,
Good.
2, 1. Transition to fly.
Awesome. Okay, into the flies, same thing. Anytime we press forward, don't let the back arch. Keep the shoulders down and back.
3, 2, 1. Fly.
Okay, ready for that fly. Good, tight squeeze. Again, we're focused on the elbows driving inward. Okay, that's what gets the pec to actually fire the way that we want it to. Is forcing the elbows
That's
to come in front
halfway.
of the chest, right? Because your pec actually connects to the humerus right here. So it stretches as we go back, and then you squeeze that tight. Also keep the shoulder down and back by squeezing your lats. We're kind of working both simultaneously.
3, 2, 1.
Good.
Transition to pull apart.
Then you go to pull aparts. Staying nice and tall, and the most important thing,
3,
shoulders
2,
down and back.
1. Pull apart.
I guess I've got three most important things, but belly, back. Get them tight. Good, Lois. Awesome. Tight, tight squeeze. Do your best. All the way
That's
through.
halfway.
Halfway. Good job, Carol. Keep moving through it. You're doing your best. Awesome, awesome work.
3,
Nice
2,
tight squeeze.
1. Transition to hammer curl.
Good.
Three, 2, 1. Hammer curls.
Stay nice and tall. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze all the way through the movement. Okay, shoulder blades down and back. Rest that core. Stay tall, tall, tall.
That's halfway.
Repinning those shoulders. Glutes, core.
3,
Tight
2,
squeeze.
1. Transition to
Awesome.
tricep press down.
All right, tricep press downs. Rip that towel apart, doing the absolute best you can to create a
3,
tight squeeze.
2, 1. Tricep press down.
Good, good, good. Tight squeeze.
That's halfway.
Good, tight squeeze, tight squeeze. Stay upright, tall, tall, tall.
3, 2, 1.
Good.
Rest.
Awesome. Okay, we are halfway through already, so make sure you use this time, get some water, but also start thinking about how we're going to perform round 3. Okay, are we going to go for more strength, right? Try to squeeze more resistance out of our bands, or
That's
add some
halfway.
weight, or are we going to shoot for more repetitions, trying to move just a little bit faster, maintaining that good quality body position, or do we need to again connect the brain to the body by moving really slow and forcing solid contractions through? So you pick, because it's about
3,
you. Get
2,
what you can
1.
out of this.
Get ready to row.
Ready to row?
3, 2,
Of
1.
course, if you need time
Row.
on it, work it.
That's halfway.
Very good. Shoulder, shoulder, shoulders. Okay.
3, 2, 1. Transition to chest press.
And part of that is the concentration. So, your shoulders like the. So when you force it down and back,
3,
really changes
2,
the way
1.
that it's going to
Chest
pull.
press.
Because it's just not used to that. So we want to try to get that into the appropriate position. Again, nice and tall. Shoulders out of the ears. Hold that core tight. Keep your butt cheeks squeezed.
That's halfway.
Maintaining a firm compression. Try to stabilize and keep that spine in a safe position. And then simultaneously hold your shoulders in a safe position. And then the last one does what? Squeezing the butt.
3,
Puts your hips
2,
in a safe
1.
position.
Transition to biceps curl.
That's what we want to work towards, be thinking towards. Safe positions, creating movement, so we can apply it to our day.
3, 2,
Good squeezes.
1. Biceps curl.
Palm to palm. Good squeeze. Warm.
That's halfway.
Good, tight, tight squeeze. And shoulders out of those ears.
3,
Core
2,
compressed.
1. Transition to triceps overhead press.
Awesome. Okay, triceps up overhead. Again, get the shoulders out of the ears. If your arms go up, shoulders should be down out of the ears. So we're trying to relax
2,
that tissue.
1. Triceps overhead.
Good. Tight, tight squeeze. Hold that core compressed, glutes on, firm squeeze.
That's halfway. 3, 2,
Good. Nice
1.
work.
Transition to fly.
All right, into the fly, so arms out wide. And pop the beach ball in front of your chest. So squeeze those elbows
3,
tight to your
2,
center.
1.
Okay?
Fly.
So even if my hands are together, the focus is driving my elbows. Okay? Keeping my shoulders down and back. Good, firm squeeze. Press hard all the way through it. Doing your best.
That's halfway.
Very good. Nice, tight core compression. Shoulder blades down and back. Squeeze firm. All the way through. Firm squeeze, firm squeeze.
3, 2, 1. Transition to pull apart.
Right? Into the pull aparts. As you squeeze, right? Shoulders go down and back. Core is compressed.
3,
Straight
2,
arms for a pull.
1.
Or if you're doing
Pull
external
apart.
rotation, you're still keeping the shoulders down and back. Elbows tight to the ribs. And then externally rotate. Okay? This actually is very difficult to do if we end up rolling those shoulders forward. We're going to lose a lot of range of motion. We get a lot of motion when we pull the shoulders
That's halfway.
back. That's where your squeeze will come from. Squeeze should be stemming from the shoulder blades, and not from just thinking rip the hands apart. Let's pull your shoulder blades down and back. And that's
3,
what gets you
2,
more movement.
1. Transition to hammer curl.
Awesome. Okay, hammer curls, thumbs up. If you're using a towel, rip that towel apart as hard as you possibly
3,
can.
2, 1. Hammer curls.
Good, tight squeeze. Get tall, tall, tall. Shoulders down and back. And core is compressed. Glutes are on. Do your absolute best.
That's halfway.
Good job, Carol. Keep pushing through it. Shouldn't be easy. Good squeeze, good squeeze. And your absolute best all the way through.
3, 2, 1.
Good.
Transition to tricep press down.
All right. Press downs, last one of round 3. We're almost there, so do your best. Then you get a minute break. Okay? Work
3,
hard through it.
2, 1. Tricep press down.
Okay, working hard is that butt, belly, and back. Squeeze them tight. In place. Extend those elbows. Squeeze tight with the back of the arms.
That's halfway.
If there was ever an exercise to work on this thing, this is it. Okay. Good, tight squeeze. Firm, firm, firm. Stay
3,
up tall, almost
2,
there.
1. Rest.
Good. 3 rounds down. 1 more to go. So use this as an opportunity to think about what you're going to get out of the next round. You're going to squeeze more repetitions out, move a little faster, or you're going to squeeze more resistance, pulling things a little bit
That's
harder.
halfway.
You can do both cumulatively, and you're going to burn a lot more out of your body.
Yep, take them on.
Or we can really work on connecting the brain to the movement. Right? So core compressed, shoulders down and back. Okay, do your best all
3,
the way through.
2, 1. Get ready to row.
Okay.
3, 2, 1. Row.
Ready for those rows, shoulder blades, down, back, down, back, down, back. Nice and firm. And do your absolute best. Absolute best.
That's halfway.
Good job.
Three, two, one. Transition to chest press.
Okay, here we go. Chest press. Pop the beach ball. Drive those elbows to your center.
3, 2, 1. Chest press.
Here we go. Good squeeze. Stay nice and tall. Shoulder blades down and back. Squeeze tight.
That's halfway.
Good. Tight, tight squeeze. Again, firm compression, firm compression. Re-squeeze the butt, the belly, and the back. Get them all
3,
in place.
2, 1. Transition
Good.
to biceps curl.
Good bicep curls. Remember, if you're using bands,
3,
don't
2,
let the bands
1.
pull your arms back
Biceps
and
curl.
shoulders roll forward. Okay, you're still forcing those shoulders into place and then create your squeeze. Okay. Good squeeze. Stay tall. Fighting the resistance. So that
That's
means if you
halfway.
palm to palm, you're fighting as hard as you can. Crush that penny. Crush that penny. Squeeze firm. Your absolute best. Press. Tight, tight, tight.
3, 2, 1. Transition to triceps overhead press.
Triceps up overhead. Shoulders down and back. Get them out of your
3,
ears
2,
and then
1.
press.
Triceps overhead.
Especially if you're just standing, working against yourself, there's no tension or torque behind you, pulling your body in any specific direction. It's easy to let your butt and belly go just because you're not thinking about that. You might be so focused on the wrists. Continually loop. Squeeze my butt cheeks together. Pinch that penny tight.
That's halfway.
Hold the penny maybe in my armpit, right? Squeeze down hard through that movement. Then create your press, okay? Butt, belly, back, all tight. Press hard, hard, hard. Okay,
3,
all the way through.
2, 1. Transition to fly.
Right, into the fly.
Three,
Tight, shoulders
2,
down and back.
1. Fly.
And if you are squeezing against a resistance that's attached behind you or the wall, keep that core tight. Don't let the back arch as you push. Okay?
That's halfway.
Not a movement of the back. Okay? You want the hips to actually go with your body. Squeezing through it. Okay? Or it holds tight. Okay? So if my bands are connected behind me, I should not move at all.
3,
Just stretch the
2,
bands and return.
1. Transition to
Awesome.
pull apart.
Job, Carol. Doing good. Thumbs up. Tight, tight
3,
squeeze.
2, 1. Pull apart.
Here we go. Good, tight core compression. Squeeze those butt cheeks together. Get the shoulders down and back.
That's
Core
halfway.
compressed. Firm, firm, firm. Very good. Tall and tight. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Again, doing your best to get through the movement.
3, 2, 1. Transition to hammer curl.
Lois is here. What is the question, Lois is wondering? Squeeze,
3,
squeeze, squeeze. Tight,
2,
tight, tight.
1. Hammer curls.
Good, hammer girls. Stay tall. You're driving those thumbs up towards the shoulder. Oh, she doesn't have your number. I'll share your number with her, and then she can get a hold
That's
of you.
halfway.
How about that, Carol? Wonder if she had got a new phone or something. Good, tight, tight squeeze. Remember, we only got 2 left. This
3,
is it for the
2,
day. Do your best.
1. Transition to
Awesome.
tricep press down.
Okay.
Really thick, long hair. Does she give you eye service?
3,
Laura,
2, 1. Tricep press down.
I haven't in a while. I used to. So you're downtown.
She's right if I say long or short.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good, tight squeeze. Last one. Butt, belly, back. Squeeze them hard all the way through. Come on.
That's halfway.
Doing your best. Your best all the way through. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Almost there. Don't let yourself quit before the time runs out.
3,
Squeeze.
2, 1. Way to be rock star.
Good. Hey, awesome, awesome work, everyone. Appreciate you being here, Carol. We absolutely love having our friends online. That makes this all the more worth it. Remember, if you have not yet, please do subscribe. Little red button down below. If it's not red, you're already subscribed. So do join us again tomorrow. 9 o'clock, we'll go live and start with our self-massage work, making sure we loosen up your muscle tissue before we get it active. Helps the blood flow in those areas, making sure that your tissue is supple and prepared to create contraction. Okay? I think that's about it for me. Let's go ahead and jump back into our SMR today in order to help you move well and live well. I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day.
The head, neck, and shoulders are intricately connected by several different muscles. The most superficial muscles being the upper trap, middle trap, and levator scapula. The brain communicates with these muscles through the 11th cranial nerve and the nerves at C3 and C4. These muscles contract the shoulder towards the neck, which causes pressure on the upper part of the vertebrae, creating tension and pain. The muscles that are much deeper are the transversospinalis and splenius capitis. The nerves that innervate these muscles are found from the C1 through the C6. These muscles connect the head and neck, which means looking down, like reading, computer work, or especially phone or tablet work, can cause problems. Start in a side-lying position with a foam roller between the neck and shoulder. Use your top leg to press into the floor, rolling your body up, which will create pressure downward through that shoulder. You're trying to create as much movement between the ear and shoulder as possible while relaxing the head toward the floor. You may increase the intensity of work by rolling the foam roller up and down using your hand. To work different points of the neck, simply roll backwards, keeping the chin and chest directly in line while opening the shoulders to the ceiling. An additional way to create greater intensity is by creating a saw-like motion, pulling the end of the foam roller toward your neck and then relaxing. You need to allow yourself to relax during the saw-like motion to break down the muscle tissue in the upper trap and neck. Continue to change the position, working the areas that are most tender. If you are tensing your body, it is not helping. My recommendation is to continue this work anywhere from 2 to 3 minutes on each side before moving on. A common headache that comes through my door is when someone comes in and paints across the forehead the pain that they feel. Commonly, it's also associated to have eye pain with this sort of headache. The muscles typically causing this headache are actually on the back side of the head, and they are called the occipital muscles. When the occipitals get extremely tight, they pull on the back of the head over the top of the head, creating the tension and pressure you feel in the forehead. So let's take a look at how to release these muscles to get rid of your headache. Using 2 lacrosse balls directly on the back of the head and lying on the ground, use a book to elevate the lacrosse balls. You're going to press down into the lacrosse balls and move them around the back of your head until you find the part that is most tender. At this point, you're going to begin pressing your head down into the lacrosse ball as hard as you can tolerate. This pressure should recreate the headache that you commonly feel across your forehead. Continue this pressure for 30 seconds. I will continue to talk you through the 30 seconds here. Do not let up on your pressure. Continue to push as hard as you possibly can in the occipital muscles in the back of your head. Try even increasing the tension and feel the headache. You know you're doing it correctly if you continue to feel the headache the whole time you're on these muscles. And we finish in 3, 2, 1. Wonderful. Now we're done with the occipital release. Next, we're going to be working on the atlantoaxial junction and the rest of the cervicals. The first muscles for us to focus on are at the atlantoaxial junction, and they are called the obliquus capitis major, obliquus capitis superior and inferior, and the rectus capitis posterior minor. Once we have worked through those, we will work on the rotatories and the semispinalis cervicis. Laying on your back with a book under your head and neck, place the lacrosse balls directly in line with the junction of the head and neck. Once you have the lacrosse balls in that position, tilt the head up and down like you're nodding your head yes. This should cause a contraction of the muscle tissue on top of the lacrosse ball and then a stretch as you look down. Once you've completed the work on that junction, move down a half an inch to the next cervical and continue this process until you have worked your way down the entire neck. Be sure to get a tight contraction tucking the chin, followed by a strong contraction tilting the head back in order for this technique to work. If you get to a point where it feels like one side is worse than the other, you may rotate your head to that side and continue to nod yes. For example, if I had some extra tension on the left side of my neck, I would rotate my head to the left and continue to contract up and down. Remember to do this continuously through the entire neck, rotating to the left or right as needed. Our final release is going to be on the upper and middle trap and levator scapula. These muscles contract the shoulder to the head. This release requires a massage stick and a clear wall. We want to start by locating the trap and levator, which holds the shoulder up to the ear. Once located, lean against the wall, allowing the stick to press down into the shoulder. Once you've created that pressure, you can start turning your head down and away from that trap. You'll notice I continue to hold the massage stick with my right hand and let the massage stick push my left shoulder down. Continue to create this pressure until your shoulder feels relaxed.